obviously we all breathed a sigh of relief. You got through the weekend unscathed and looked good, mate. How did you feel out there?
Thank you. Yeah, it was good. It was good to be back. Even I've been a competitive unit my whole life, so just to get back and get a win was a good feeling. Get the Gatorade shower, but knee felt good. Back out with the boys, and it was just overall like a good feeling after a pretty long and arduous 10 months.
Think you're ready for an Easter Thursday blockbuster with the reigning premiers?
Yeah, we'll see how we go. It's obviously early in the week. Still got to do a bit of recovery today, train tomorrow, etc. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
You mentioned getting to the end of that 10 months. Now it's finished. Reflecting on it, what do you think you really took out of your time out of the game?
Yeah, I could go anywhere with this. It's pretty similar to my 2019 knee, where I just relied on a lot of people around me, and I think that's something that I learnt the hard way in 2019. But it's tough to get through adversity on your own, and relying on people around you and surrounding yourself with good people is probably the most important part. Attack every day sort of thing. Like I tried to leave baggage at the door and just come in and do every set, do every rep, so that when I get back I know that I've done everything I can. And probably tried to take those two things out of my last knee and implement them this time, and feel like I've done that well. So it's obviously it's 10 months gone, and we're hoping to be back playing properly like for the rest of the season, but still a few little things to sort out and make sure I'm back to 100%.
How did leaning on people around you, you've had to do some of that with a new club. How did that sort of go with forging those connections with your new team?
Pretty easily, to be honest. I rolled in here day one, did a rehab session before the boys come back, and Chris Brennan and Jess Clary were here, and the way that I got welcomed in, and they helped me with the transition from the Crows rehab program to the Lions, and all the work I did with Josh Manuel and Tim Parham in Adelaide and set that foundation to be able to come back earlier. But the fact that I've come here and they've just welcomed me in and said, hey, let's meld the programs together rather than you doing it our way. We've found a happy medium, and massive credit to them for that, because it's not easy to do, obviously. And I can't thank the Lions staff and players enough for welcoming me in and making it easier.
How different are we talking there in terms of different approaches between different clubs? Is it stark, or is it just sort of subtle?
Nah, not majorly. It's without getting too sports science technical, it's probably just like a difference in the way you approach the early days regarding like isometric training and different things like that. And it's not really different in the grand scheme of things. You're basically just trying to strengthen everything around the knee and make sure that you can jump and land and get back to playing at your best. But just little things along the way in terms of the vernacular, the cross training, all that different stuff to keep you fit. That's probably the biggest difference. But as I said, I was really thankful that they didn't make me just stick to their way, and I didn't just want to stick to the Crows way, and found a happy balance and worked out well.
What's the big test in game on Saturday where you thought, I've got through that, I'm happy that the knee's
good? Probably didn't have that one moment that I might have had in 2019. I suppose I've done a full month of training, so I've had probably 2 or 3 of those moments out there that probably replaced that. But it was probably, to be honest, just that final siren and just getting into the huddle, listening to the song, which I'm still getting the words down pat. But being showered with Gatorade, singing a song with the boys was just that tick-off moment, and just happy days. I've got through that first game, which is always the biggest anxiety-inducing game because you've just been out for so long.
So you're obviously very experienced. Are you a type of guy that will get butterflies or get edgy, whether it's this Thursday or down the track when you step back onto the senior field?
Not usually, no. I'm very rarely nervous for games. For most things in life, to be honest. I'm quite laid back, but the nerves did kick in a bit before the game, just because obviously, again, 10 months out, it's not a short period of time, but felt really good during the game, felt good after, and hopefully can keep on that trajectory.
Is that nature maybe helping you with the pressure, because you are the big off-season signing, coming into a winless team looking for a spark, but you're also coming back from one of the biggest injuries you can do. Are you feeling any pressure in that regard?
No, not particularly. I put a lot of pressure on myself, like I always have since I started sports at 6 or 7 years old. Like I've just always wanted to perform. So I don't feel like any external pressures getting to me in that regard, and I stay away from the media and all that sort of stuff, just focus on what's in these 4 walls and friends and family and their opinions, because they matter the most. So I sort of feel like if anyone's putting more pressure on me than I put on myself, then they probably don't really understand what exactly is going on. So no external pressures got to me in that regard.
With Kitty and Connor both going down, is there a sense of urgency that we've got to get you back in the side as quickly as possible?
Nah,
Or do you
definitely not.
come-
Nah.
You don't get back before you're ready?
Yeah, you don't want to come back before you're ready and waste 10 months of work. And I feel like we've got a lot of good depth at this club where they're obviously big losses, but we feel like we can replace them and still play quality football. And it's more of just the timeline just happened to work out that way, that I was ready at 10 months and those two boys unfortunately went down in the weeks prior.
How are you feeling mentally this time around compared to 2019?
Feels like a long time ago, 2019. It was interesting to not go on too much of a tangent, but 2019 I come back, was ready to go, had a little setback and then COVID hit, so I had like an extra 6 to 8 weeks. So it was a little bit different in that regard. I was able to make sure that it was 100% correct, the knee and everything. Was able to get a lot more training in and things like that, but that was just a victim of circumstance. So this time I feel probably stronger. I feel like a lot more mature and better athlete in that regard. And I feel like we've got a better sense of the game, having a year out, doing a bit of coaching, watching it differently. But in terms of physically, I feel exactly where I was at pre-knee, which is all you can hope for after an ACL.
In terms of Will and Kitty, have you spoken to sort of them about their sort of journeys and what sort of they can expect on this road?
Yeah, definitely. Try not to be the one that talks too much and more listens, because the worst thing when you do your knee is everyone comes up to you and tells you their story, and they mean well, but sometimes that's the last thing you want to hear. So I was just trying to give little bits of advice, especially early days. You can really set the foundation for your comeback. So Kitty went over and visited him and just brought some gifts and tried to take his mind off it for a little bit. And then Will, we've just been in constant chat week in, week out, just because has gone a little bit up and down at times, but that's just what happens with an ACL. It's never a linear process. So, try not to be the guy that's always in their ear, but trying to provide a little bit of advice, and hopefully my 2 ACLs and my experiences in that regard can help them out.
Sorry, Craig, this one. What is on the game and what the vibes been like around the club, given there's been such a break between games, and what's the atmosphere been like? And do you think that you've found, I guess, the answers that you've been looking for since the Freo game?
Yeah, it's been pretty good, vibes-wise. I suppose inside the 4 walls you probably wouldn't know that 0-2, and it sort of gets built up as a grand finalist 0-2 and bad start to the season sort of thing. But we feel like we're still doing a lot right, and there's just a few different things that we can correct, and then that'll turn the tide, and no better opportunity to do it at the Gabba in front of the big crowd and Lions fans going crazy against the reigning premiers.